both unexpected and unique. From this hyena that just can't give this man some personal space, to a koala that just wanted a nice warm hug. But first, let's take a look at this moment where a single puffin leaves its colony to say hi. Number 15. Puffin. While on a holiday vacation in the Shetland Islands, this wildlife photographer is met with an unlikely new friend. Animals in the wild are never safe for people to approach because of the danger from the animal themselves, or the person can pose a risk to them. But this puffin can't help but be curious and approach the person snapping photos of the ocean. And it is listed at the top for wildlife watchers according to National Geographic. With at least 7 colonies of large puffin birds found on the island, the scenic view can capture anyone. But being able to directly interact with these animals is probably one to remember for a lifetime. Number 14. Squirrel. Almost a decade ago, Geert Wagen saw a small fox standing outside his door, and he immediately rushed to feed it with some meat from his kitchen. The days that followed brought more wildlife into his front porch, and he used this opportunity to take some photographs. Eventually, red squirrels appeared, and they were there almost daily, playing around with props in his outside studio. Little did he know that these photos of red squirrels would make him an internationally awarded photographer. This became his career, and he is now well known as an expert in the field that specializes in red squirrels. And it's no wonder as well, because these photos look straight out of a fairy tale. He now organizes workshops that teach photographers in the field his techniques and tricks. Number 13. Hyena. This wildlife photographer was sharing his unique experiences around South Africa, and that includes meeting the animals within the sanctuary enclosures. He didn't really specify just how close he was with the animals until this hyena decided to disturb the interview to try and get his attention. The hyena began licking at the man's neck and head, and kept leaning over his back. That's some level of professionalism, as the man didn't even flinch from this disturbance at all. The same couldn't be said for the man behind the camera, as he immediately started flailing about when the hyena wanted to play with him next. You could hear the man say, "Leave my boots alone!" to the hyena, who wanted to turn them into a chew toy. Number 12. Seal. During a photographic expedition in the Gold Harbor on the island of South Georgia, Chris and Jess Bay came across a group of king penguins. It's hard to take steady photos without preparing a tripod, so the next quickest way would be to go down on the ground to get a good shot. As they inched closer to the group, a colony of elephant seals saw them and didn't think twice about approaching the couple. One of the seal pups broke away from most of the group and had the most interest in Jess. As if trying to cuddle with a photographer, the seal put its whole body weight on top of Jess, and whenever it would slide off, it would just get back up to enjoy its big hug. Number 11. Rhino. Poachers are still a very big problem in the wild, and they have single-handedly reduced so many populations of wild animals, like rhinos. It's become increasingly common to collect rhino horns as a status symbol to display success and wealth in old cultural traditions. Many wildlife photographers are animal rights activists as well, and for this group in South Africa, they work on sedating rhinos and injecting harmless dye into the base of their horn. This will make sure that the horn will have a purple color and will be poisonous to poachers. Unfortunately, some rhinos wake up a little too early, and the film crew captured this hilarious moment when the crew director Stephen Lyon gets chased by the animal. Number 10. Gorilla. This group of tourists had the once-in-a-lifetime experience with wild gorillas in Bwindi National Park, Uganda. This park is already well known for hosting viewing decks where you can see gorillas in their natural habitats. However, on this particular day, the gorillas actually went up to the park and entered the encampment themselves. According to the park rangers, this was something that rarely happened, sometimes only once a year. This man held his video camera as tightly as he could while he attempted to hide in plain sight. The gorillas decided to sit down right next to him, with 3 babies in between him and a male silverback gorilla. The one taking a video of this moment just couldn't believe his eyes that this was happening. Number 9. Meerkat. This photographer speaks to the camera about his experiences with wild animals, that he was lucky enough to be able to film animals like elephants, gorillas, and bears, and yet none of them have ever been so close to him that they would decide to sit on his head. But maybe that's a good thing. Swift is a 5-week-old meerkat that has become extremely friendly with this photographer. The film crew is here to document the area which is considered one of the harshest places on Earth, the Kalahari Desert. Drought has hit this region, and food has become scarce for the animals here. The meerkats have been habituated to humans for over 2 years now, and so it's almost like they believe these humans are just a part of the ecosystem, as they bring not only care and food, but also awareness. Number 8. Wolf. Snow wolves are extremely curious and adventurous creatures, similar to their closest relatives, dogs, or their slightly farther cousin, foxes. The photographer capturing them believes that this is part of their growth. In order to not get too close to them while taking shots, trail cameras that are dug into the ground are left in the open. But this crafty 1-year-old wolf pup keeps trying to pull the camera out of the ground. Approaching quietly and gently, the photographer would say "no" repeatedly as if speaking with a human child. They document how through the days that have passed by, it has become comforting to be around these amazing animals. He would even try to get down on the ground and wait for the wolves to approach him themselves without feeling afraid. However, these are still wild and dangerous animals, so it's not a good idea to go around trying to coax wolves closer like this. Number 7. Shark. Several animals throughout the years have become official photographers for organizations like National Geographic. We've seen GoPros on eagles and some on lions or elephants, but would it be possible to hire a shark for the team? With the help of a critter cam, this tiger shark is the newest addition to the film crew. They initially thought that it would be too dangerous and difficult to get this done. However, they were surprised to find out that the tiger shark was extremely gentle with them. Despite the fierce reputation of the shark, it left the team in awe of how calm it was. Sharks have been at risk of extinction several times in the past, and this would hopefully shed light into how they are certainly not as vicious as movies make them out to be. Number 6. Leopard. Leopards are dangerous and swift on their feet, but they are also well known for being tough and brave. Unlike most animals who would get wounded, leopards would not run away and try to escape. They in fact become more aggressive and ferocious. And so it's a no-brainer as to why humans should never get involved with these wild cats. But when your job is being a wildlife photographer, it's not exactly a job you can pass on to the new hires. Experience is key in this kind of line of work, and so is being extremely lucky. As this photographer took photos and videos of this leopard family, a curious leopard cub decided to say hi up close. It even tries to poke at the man's feet, just like how domesticated cats would. Number 5. Fox. This beautiful little Arctic fox has found interest in this photographer lying down on the ground. Stefan Forrester has been traveling and professionally taking wildlife photographs in Greenland for over 10 years. He documents how he's walked hundreds of kilometers and met an array of animals along the way. But this was the first time he has ever seen this rare white Arctic fox in the area. Something had caught his eye in the distance, a lone, pure white figure atop a mountain that was looking down on him. He didn't want to miss this chance of a lifetime, so he prepared all his gear and tried to get the perfect shot. As minutes passed, the distance between them lessened, and it was only until the little fox bit at his camera did he know he had found a friend. Number 4. Koala. Imogens is a young koala who was just transferred here to the Koala Sanctuary in Symbio Wildlife Park. Because of her mother dying from leukemia, the decision was made that this little one would be hand-raised here in this park. It didn't take long until this little one's curiosity and friendly side shined through as more people surrounded her. While filming the playful koala, she suddenly decided to inch closer to the cameraman. She would run toward the man's leg and climb up his leg as if it were another tree. The cameraman easily obliged with a warm hug and a big live to tell the tale of. Number 3. Cheetah. For wildlife filmmaker Kim Woliter, setting up cameras all over the wild is just another day in the office. But this doesn't mean that threats to his safety are not an issue. More often than not, he will constantly be faced with dangerous situations that test his ability to stay calm and think quickly. When trying to capture cheetahs, the dangers are tripled when there is a mother cheetah with young cubs involved. If you're sensed as a threat by the mother, you immediately lose that trust, and you can only imagine what will happen next. While preparing the area to leave cameras, a group of cheetah cubs decided to make a new friend. They even go as far as climbing up on top of him and allowing him to pet them and nibble at his finger. The mother was just relaxing at the side and didn't seem to mind Kim playing with her children at all. Number 2. Monkey. If the shark working as a photographer was amusing and impressive, this little monkey is making its way to fame. Acting just like how humans would operate a camera, the monkey seems to mimic the movements and actions quite closely. You'd also think that it's actually taking photographs right now. This monkey would definitely make an interesting documentary with those angles and shots. And full respects to the owner of the camera who was filming the whole scene for not minding this inexperienced apprentice. Bear. If you've been on the internet for quite some time, you might have seen this viral photo of a National Geographic crew running for their lives from a bear behind them. Nothing sparks more joy than the faces made in this single shot. Unfortunately, the men behind the photo have already debunked it and said that they were simply scouting the areas to leave trail cameras and equipment at. But they decided to add a little fun into the mix by staging this photo and adding in a stock photo of a bear. Despite this photo being explained as fake, it's the kind of photo that the internet will remember for years to come.